So here we are at level 5, and we're looking at what process can we invoke, can we use, can we apply in order to move conversations from difficult to calm and logical. Now, Sully used the process to land his aircraft, as we've seen, saving a lot of lives because he used a logical sequence of events and focused on those in order to make decisions that were non-emotional decisions, despite there being a lot of emotion in the situation. So how do we emulate that in conversations? What could we do? So let's have a quick look at a couple of processes, and then I'll give you a couple of tips for what to do when people are bogged down. So our process for handling difficult people needs to start with an explanation of where we're at the moment. The organization, the business, we as a team, this is what we need. This is what needs to happen. I think this, you think that. This is where we agree. This is where we disagree. You can see what you're doing is calming your own mind down by describing what is happening, observing and describing what is happening. These, and this is very important, these are the consequences if we do not agree. This is what's going to happen to the organization, to the business, to the team if we don't agree. So what do you suggest, given that we disagree at the moment? We can bring others into it if you wish, but what do you suggest? Now, as you start to ask these questions, and have these on your phone, maybe if you've got a Teams meeting as a reminder, or have them on a piece of paper if you're in a meeting face to face, where you're reminding the other side to think clearly. You're giving time for the responsive emotions that Horney described with dominant, detached, dependent to calm down and move to logic by asking calm, logical questions and eventually moving people to a decision process. Now, these 5 steps are key for any good decision. What is currently happening? Let's agree that. What are the problems as a result? Let's agree those. What are the options we've got? What choice do we make? What remedy do we invoke? And what is the plan? Now, we would all agree that these 5 steps are essential. Now, you probably agree. Also, you often seen somebody in red mood say, jumping straight from number 1 to number 5. You know, this is the situation, do this. The blues, you've probably seen them get bogged down at number 2. You've probably seen the greens bogged down at number 3 because they do like discussing and listening to other people's opinions. Our goal is to move the colors into the top part of our brain, the logical cognitive part. We say we need to go through these steps. I've used it in meetings, say even in an email, to highlight the logical steps that eventually we need to go through for a good, sound commercial or business decision. So what we're doing is we're educating difficult people in their emotional state by showing this process and by asking questions about the process, which gives time. And this is the key thing. It gives time for the emotions to calm and for logical thought to enter. We won't deal with it in the instant. We will deal with it over a few minutes of time by asking appropriate questions. Now, of course, then you do get some people who get bogged down. Some people get bogged down in the red, the results focus. Some people get bogged down in the blue, the detached, the information-based person who's thinking of information. Some get bogged down in the relationships. That was Karen Horney's observation, if you remember, that we get bogged down through defense mechanisms, through coping strategies, she called it. Or we stay in there in the bottom part of our brain rather than move to logic. So what can we do? And here's the answer. And the answer is to apply pressure. Now, we have to be professional and calm about this, but it's applying appropriate pressure. What we say to the red is this: yeah, okay, I get your view. These are the consequences if we go that way, which are not good for results or reputation. Why do we say that to a red? Because it's results and reputation that matter to a red. They don't matter so much to a blue. What matters to a blue is they want to avoid more problems. So what we say to the blue is, look, I know we need more time and more data before a decision. I get that. But if we do that, if we delay, there will be more problems. So again, you're leveraging the blue by saying to them, if you stay in this blue state, it will get worse. And to the red, if you stay in that red state, you won't get what you want. Same with the green, as you can see, number 2, the bullet number 2. If we delay, we will cause people to be unhappy. The green definitely does not want that. So what you're doing, you're pressurizing the green and the blue and the red with the very things they want to avoid. Gently saying to them, unless we're logical, we're not going to resolve this. We're going to get in a worse situation. And if you need to move people to logic, it could be that on occasions, these kind of techniques may help when people are bogged down in their colors. People generally move when they clearly see problems arising from not moving. So if you outline to them, if we don't move, these are the consequences, you'll have a considerable amount of success in moving them out of that lower part of the brain, the mid part of the brain, into the logical part of the brain.